Should every student in Texas walk into class and see the Ten Commandments posted on the wall? That was the plan. But this week, a federal judge hit the brakes, ruling that forcing public schools to display the religious text likely violates the Constitution. It's a ruling that touches the heart of one of America's most divisive questions. Where should the line be drawn between faith and government? Back in June, Texas lawmakers passed a law requiring the Ten Commandments to be displayed in every single public school classroom, from kindergarten through high school. Supporters argued that the directives form the foundation of America's laws and values. But almost immediately, students and parents sued, representing a wide range of faiths, and non-religious families too. On Wednesday, a federal judge issued a temporary injunction, blocking the law from taking effect, at least in 11 districts that were named in the lawsuit. Those districts served more than 600,000 students. Judge Fred Beery of the Western District of Texas said the law blurred the line between church and state. He noted that even if the commandments weren't formally taught, the captive audience of students would likely ask questions. Teachers might feel compelled to answer, dragging religion into public education. And crucially, there's no historical tradition of permanently displaying the Ten Commandments in American classrooms. In his words, there are ways to teach the history of the Ten Commandments without the state selecting an official version of Scripture and mandating it in every classroom. Supporters, including Governor Greg Abbott, framed the law as a matter of heritage and tradition. They argue the commandments shaped American law, and that displaying them acknowledges history, not religion. Some conservative lawmakers also said the displays would reinforce moral values in an age of school shootings, rising youth anxiety, and what they call eroding family structures. To them, the ruling is judicial overreach, blocking what voters and elected officials decided. But critics, including the ACLU and civil liberties groups, say it's a clear violation of the First Amendment's Establishment Clause, which prohibits government endorsement of religion. Heather Weaver, senior counsel at the ACLU, put it bluntly, "Public schools are not Sunday schools. This decision ensures all students, regardless of their faith, can learn without worrying they don't live up to the state's preferred religious beliefs." In their view, the law isn't about history, it's about state-sponsored religion. This isn't the first time the Ten Commandments have landed in court. In 1980, the Supreme Court struck down a Kentucky law requiring classroom displays of the commandments, ruling it had no secular purpose. Since then, the court has allowed some public displays in historical or cultural contexts, like monuments on Capitol grounds, but has consistently blocked classroom mandates. However, the Supreme Court has shifted in recent years. It's now more sympathetic to claims that government shouldn't discriminate against religion. That's why legal experts say the Texas case could become a major test of how far the current court will go in redrawing the boundaries of church and state. Texas isn't alone. Louisiana passed a law in 2024 requiring the Ten Commandments in classrooms. A federal judge also put that law on hold. Arkansas passed a similar measure for public buildings, blocked in court. Oklahoma's school superintendent recently mandated Bibles in every classroom. Together, these moves are part of a larger push by religious conservatives to bring more faith into public education, testing how far courts will let them go. So what happens next? The Texas injunction is temporary, appeals are likely, and the fight could climb all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. For now, students in 11 districts won't see the Ten Commandments on their classroom walls come September. But in the rest of Texas, and in other states, the battle lines are drawn. At its core, this fight isn't just about tablets of stone, it's about what role, if any, religion should play in America's public schools. And that debate, it's far from over. I'm Your Name. Thanks for watching. Stay informed and stay engaged.